friends, welcome back to Carrie's Culinary Crafts. And if you're new, welcome. Here on Carrie's Culinary Crafts, we talk all things food. And today I have the Christmas holiday, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, all the foods that we had for the Christmas holiday I have for you in today's video. So to get started, we are working on Christmas Eve dinner. Now, this is a formal dinner that I have every year, and it is something that I have done for like the past 13 years. What I do is do a traditional Christmas dinner from different countries around the world. And this year, the country was Switzerland. So here I have a 5 pound leg of lamb, boneless leg of lamb. And I'm going to go ahead and get this rinsed off and get my hands all clean and get some gloves on so I don't have to keep washing my hands over and over again. But the first thing that I'm going to do is go ahead and put some slits into this leg of lamb, and I'm going to insert whole garlic cloves into the leg of lamb. Now, if you notice on this leg of lamb, there is a netting that is around that. I'm going to leave that netting on because I want to cook with that netting on. I want to keep the leg intact, and then when it's time for dinner, I can cut off the netting and actually slice up the meat. So, and here I'm dumping in, I have some whole garlic cloves in a chili oil. So I'm just going to put maybe about a dozen, I don't know, 10 or 12 garlic cloves into this leg of lamb, just portioning them out throughout the whole leg of lamb. And once I get that done, I am going to go ahead and season up my leg of lamb, and then I'm going to get it ready to roast in the oven. Now this size leg of lamb, it doesn't take that long to cook. I am going to cook it to a medium a medium rare to medium leg of lamb. The ends are going to be more medium, where the center of the leg of lamb will be more of a medium rare. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of the seasonings and everything prepared, and then I'll set this aside and then until I'm ready to start cooking. Now this is a 5 pound leg of lamb, and it will take about an hour and a half to finish. Now that is cooking and letting rest. I need 1 hour and a half's worth of time. Our dinner is at 3 o'clock. So therefore, I need to make sure that this is in by 3:30. I'm going to set a timer for 3:15 and then get to preheat the oven, and then once the oven is preheated, I'm going to get my leg of lamb into the oven. Okay, now I had my husband go out in the front yard and get some fresh rosemary, because that is something that I'm going to season the lamb with, as well as some other seasonings. So he brought in several big sprigs of fresh rosemary. And what I'm going to season the lamb with is salt, pepper, and thyme. I'm going to crumble up. I have my own dehydrated thyme from my garden. I'm going to crumble up that and put all over the lamb, and then I am going to stick some small sprigs of rosemary underneath the netting on this leg of lamb. And then I'm going to lay the leg of lamb on a very large bed of rosemary. And then I'm going to let that roast in all of those seasonings. There is the thyme that it's time for my garden that I had dehydrated, and I keep it in the whole sprigs and just scrunch it up whenever I go to use it. And then here I'm going to put on some Dijon mustard, and I'm going to put it, just rub it onto the whole thing, the front and the back side. Okay, and here I'm sticking some little tiny rosemary sprigs underneath the netting. And now I'm going to go ahead and lay my leg of lamb over top of the big sprigs that I have. And there was a little bit of that garlic chili oil, and I just drizzled it over the leg of lamb. And basically that is all that I need to do to this leg of lamb. And then I'm just going to set it aside and get working on one of the sides next. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to work on is some, oh boy, I forget how to pronounce it again. I've looked it up so many times on Google. Okay, it is L. plurimagronin. That is how it is said via the translation on Google. And basically what it translates to, Alpine macaroni pasta. So basically it's kind of like a glorified macaroni and cheese, basically. But they do have some different ingredients in it than we normally do not do in the States. There they use heavy cream and they use some sour cream, and the cheese that they use is Gruyere cheese. So I'm going ahead and chopping up some onions and some garlic, and I'm going to get those in the pan with a stick of butter and get that to start cooking. And I'm going to kind of make a little bit of a roux. I'm going to put the onions and the garlic, and another thing that they put in this dish is bacon. So I'm going to be tossing in some bacon there as well. I have already cooked up the macaroni pasta. It is now just straining out of my pasta pot that I have there. So I have already done that, and I'm just going to go ahead and finish up this roux. And once the onions and garlic and bacon is cooked, I will add in about half a cup of flour, and then I'm going to add heavy cream in and bring it up to a boil until the sauce thickens up. And then I'm going to keep adding cream into it till it gets to the consistency that I want. And then we will be adding in the the cheeses and get the cheese all nice and melted. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and add in my seasonings. So I'm going to add in some salt. And I put quite a bit in because there's no seasonings in here. So I probably put about 2 teaspoons in. And then I'm going to put some pepper in and give this a really, really good stir. And then I'm going to give it a taste test to make sure our seasonings are right. If I need to add in more, I will add in more. And then this bowl right here that has the red lid, I missed it. That was the Gruyere cheese that I had already grated up that I added to the sauce. And after I tasted it, I needed to add a little bit more of salt and pepper. Now I had to ask my husband to come help me with this part with pouring over the cheese mixture over top of the macaroni. And then we will get this covered and it will go into the oven at the 1 hour mark. It probably only needs 45 minutes, and then that last 15 minutes, it can just sit and rest with the foil on top of it so it stays nice and warm. And of course, an advantage of the cook is to be able to taste it. And it's delicious. Okay, I have some champagne vinegar here, and I didn't have my camera on, and I thought I did. But in this bowl here, I have um, mayonnaise and mustard and poppy seeds and half a onion grated up. And I just put in a little bit of that champagne vinegar, and I'm going to whisk this together. I'm going for kind of like a Vidalia onion type dressing. So I'm just going to kind of, um, mix the ingredients together till I come up to that kind of a taste. And for the sweet element here, I'm going to go ahead and add just a little squeeze of some Mike's hot honey. Now my timer went off. It's time to put the lamb in the oven. Now I'm going to cook it for an hour and a half. The first half hour I'm cooking it at 400 degrees, and then I'm going to turn it down to 350 and cook it the rest of the way. And here in this bowl, I have some candied walnuts. I did this earlier in the morning. I forgot to record it. And really all that I did was put a little bit of butter into a pan, and then added some brown sugar and dissolved that up, mixed it really good, brought it up to like a bubble, and then I added in some walnuts and just cooked them for a good 2 minutes or so. And then I poured them off onto a piece of parchment paper or wax paper, and I left them dry and harden. And those are going to go into the salad that I will make along with the rest of the bacon that wasn't used in the macaroni and cheese. Now here I'm going ahead and I'm washing up some carrots. One of their main sides that they have is roasted carrots. So I am going to clean and cut up some carrots, and I'm gonna get these oiled and seasoned, and I will roast them in the oven. I'm going to go ahead and put these carrots in the oven with the lamb in there because it's at 400 degrees, and I want to go ahead and roast the carrots at 400 degrees. When they are done, I will pull them out, and then I'll just reheat them back in the oven before I serve them. But I want to make sure that I get these carrots cooked the whole way through. Because I'm going to need that space to put in the macaroni and cheese, basically. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and get started on the salad. Uh, Now, the traditional salad in Switzerland that they have is just with arugula and spinach, but I didn't have enough to make a full salad with just arugula and spinach, so I did go ahead and add some romaine in this salad as well. Here I'm just cutting up a little bit of feta cheese. You can use the Gruyere cheese on the salad, which is what they do, but I personally didn't think it had enough bite to it, so I just kind of decided to add in the feta cheese because this also has cranberries in it, and cranberry and feta goes really, really good together. So I went ahead and made the decision to go ahead and substitute the Gruyere with the feta cheese in this salad. Now, I apologize, I didn't get the making of all of the salad. My granddaughter wanted to help me, so I kind of maneuvered her so her face wasn't on the camera. But in the salad, I have arugula, spinach, some romaine lettuce, and we put in the feta cheese, the carrots, the cranberries, and the walnuts and bacon. And you can see my granddaughter, she absolutely loves bacon, so she kept reaching in and grabbing bacon and also grabbing carrots. So she wanted to help me in the kitchen, so we kind of maneuvered things around. So sorry you're looking at the back of her head, but she wanted to help. That is my granddaughter Sadie. And now we're going to go ahead and do one of her favorite jobs. She loves to peel boiled eggs. So she's going to help me peel up some boiled eggs to put in the salad. Yep, I guess she found herself. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do these boiled eggs. Okay, and here I made the homemade bread, and I did half of it in the bread maker. I let the bread maker do all the kneading and the first rise of the dough. And then one of the things that they do with their Christmas bread is that they braid it. So that's why I pulled it out after the first rise, and then I punched it down, and then I cut it into three sections, and I went ahead and braided it. And then I will be brushing the top with egg wash and or egg whites, and then I will sprinkle some salt, pepper, some Gruyere cheese on top, and I think it's going to be delicious. And right here in the camera, that is my mom. She had come over for dinner. She doesn't know that I'm recording at this point in time, so, but I did tell her that I would be editing out all the conversations, so it'll be all okay. So I'm just going ahead and finishing up braiding this bread, and then I'm going to get it or let it rise, give it the second rise before I stick it in the oven to bake. Now I'm just going to go ahead and stick it over here on my stove because it is really warm there. So it will rise really fast. I'm not going to need the full hour for it to rise. It'll probably be ready in half an hour. Now we have pulled out the lamb and let it rest for at least 15 minutes. And now I'm kind of teaching my son how to carve the lamb. We just took the netting off, and then because I can't slice it with a knife, I'm just showing him how to do it. And I'm just having him slice it thin and on the bias, and he does an excellent job. No trouble at all. He did a great job. And this is sweet. He even shows the camera, showing you all a nice slice of lamb. And this was after we had already eaten. We all got so excited that I forgot um, to film prior to eating. So there is the bread, not much of it left. There is the macaroni and cheese, the roasted carrots, lamb, and there is the leftover salad. And here is my plate. It is now Christmas morning, and my boys are not up yet. And I'm going to go ahead and get cinnamon rolls started on their rise. Now, this was dough that I had made last night and stuck it in the refrigerator for it to slow rise all night. So I'm just going ahead and pressing it out. It's a fairly sticky dough, so I am using a lot of flour that I'm pressing in, putting on my hands, and making sure that it's nicely floured so it's not quite as sticky because I'm going to roll this dough out in a moment. Well, right now, I'm going to go ahead and roll it out, and you want to roll it to as best of a rectangle as you can. And I'm just patting in some of the sides just to make sure I keep it in the rectangle shape. So this year I asked my kids what they wanted for breakfast Christmas morning, and I gave them the choice of monkey bread or homemade cinnamon rolls, and they both agreed on homemade cinnamon rolls. So that is what I am making. And now that I have this rolled out, I have some soft butter, super soft butter here, and I'm just going to go ahead and spread this all over the dough. And then once I get all the butter spread out, then I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle some brown sugar and some cinnamon. Basting brush was just not working very well, so I had to get myself a little knife spatula, and that works much better. And you want to make sure that you butter like the whole piece of dough, and you want to butter the whole way out to the ends. And it's the same with the brown sugar and the cinnamon. You really want to carry that the whole way out to the ends so nobody gets an empty cinnamon roll. And my husband is coming and blocking the camera to get more coffee. Oh, there's the cinnamon first. I'm not sure why I wasn't using my sprinkle cinnamon jar that I have. Just wasn't thinking. And now I'm going to go ahead and dump some brown sugar and spread it out evenly. And remember, you want to get it the whole way out on all the sides so every cinnamon roll has some goodness in it. And I just made a single recipe of the cinnamon rolls, so this makes 8 large cinnamon rolls. You could get 12 smaller ones if you'd like, but come on, I have 2 teenage boys and they're gonna want the big ones, so I made some nice size cinnamon rolls. And I'm buttering my dish over here. I'm using a 13 by 9 um, baking dish. And now I'm going to go ahead and roll up the cinnamon roll. And when you're rolling this up, you definitely want to, roll it up pretty tight, because you don't want a bunch of air in between the dough. So you want to try and roll it up as tight as you can. And when I get to the end, then I'm going to stretch and pinch the end so they don't come unraveled. And I'm pushing in the sides a little bit just to make sure that they're all going to be uniform in size. So then I cut it in half, then half again, and then I cut each half into two. So then I have 8 decent size rolls. And I should have moved the camera here, but so you're not going to see it. But what I'm doing is I'm actually smashing down the cinnamon rolls so they fill up as much of that 13 by 9 pan as you can. And I am going to let them rise for a little bit, and I want them all to be the same size. If you don't push them down, they will still rise, but you're going to have some bigger ones and some smaller ones. So this way, if you kind of like push them down into the pan, when they rise, they're going to all rise to the same size. So now I'm just going ahead and covering for a good 30 minutes. And meanwhile, we will open up some of our Christmas gifts. Now, after my boys opened up their gifts, I went ahead and made some of the cream cheese frosting, and I'm going to pull the cinnamon rolls out, and we're going to go ahead and get these frosted. Now, my boys absolutely love lots of icing, and I'm not going to lie, I like lots of icing too. So I made a quite a bit of icing and made sure that they were fully covered so nobody could complain or say that one got more icing than the other. I put a lot of icing on all of them. And there's my cinnamon shaker. I just sprinkle a little bit on. I'll blow off the excess. And that is our cinnamon rolls that we had for our Christmas morning. And I'm also going to cook up some sausage links that the kids can have with the cinnamon rolls. And now I'm going to go ahead and make up what I make up every Christmas Day. Because I do a lot of cooking Christmas Eve, I try to make it as easy as possible Christmas Day. And I am just opening up a can of home canned spaghetti sauce here. I'm going to put some in the bottom of the crock pot. And then I'm going to cut open a bag of some frozen meatballs. And I have some sub rolls there, and when anybody is hungry during the day today, whether it's lunch, dinner, both, snack, all in between, people can have meatball subs for their meal or meatballs in a bowl, whatever they'd like to do. But this is what I do, and I'll do a whole bag of family-sized meatballs, and then I'll put the rest of this sauce over, and I'm going to stick the crock pot on warm. And I will just leave them in there all day. By the end of the day, those meatballs will be gone. And that, my friends, is how we celebrated our Christmas holiday. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button down below. I'll see you next time, friends. Bye.